Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey, two diehard baseball fans who don't agree on anything. Which side will you choose? This is The Divide.
Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny and so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do.
Shut up, Porter! Hey, I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation.
This is The Divide.
All right, welcome everybody to The Divide special show. We are here. We're on Fox Sports The Gambler.
We're here.
This is great. This is let's get into a couple things right off the bat. Sunday, June 19th. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. There's a lot to celebrate today. So let's just go ahead and get rolling with our celebration here. You're listening to Divide with Mike and Corey. I'm Corey.
I'm Mike.
We're going to talk all things sport, concentrate on baseball a little bit, have some banter back and forth as well. Let's go through a couple things. Just let them know who they're listening to right now.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Sunday spot from 12 to 1 every Sunday till the end of time. That was the deal we made in negotiations.
We negotiated a heck of a deal.
Fox Sports doesn't know that. I always find like this negotiation process happened so quick. Almost the fact we didn't negotiate at all. It was just they're like, hey, you got a show now.
Yeah. We're like, yes.
Sure.
Yes,
That sounds good. I mean, we've been doing this. So we've had this podcast. You were the mastermind. How many episodes and how many? This is what? At least 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah. So we've been at it post-pandemic 2 years, and then during the pandemic, we doubled down. Hence the Gambler. And
Pre-pandemic and then post.
Yeah,
I love how
during the pandemic. I mean, we just started reaching out to A-Rod. Cliff Floyd helped us out. And we just kept going and going. And
just kind of sliding into DMs and seeing who would respond.
Yeah, and so honestly, like we capitalized during that. We got a crazy following on Instagram that we're proud of, and we just kept growing. And we got into our comfort zone. Corey and I have been friends for a very, very long time.
It's true.
We're passionate about baseball. Mr. Todd Frazier is gonna hop in and out every so often.
Yeah, I mean, the list seems endless for right now, but we've had a lot of help. We've been blessed with a lot of awesome guests that just keep sticking around, that we talk to frequently, and we hope to kind of build on that. Let's go back. I love and I hate that the new AC or AD and BC is pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
It is.
There's no. Yeah. It's like, how long ago? And we were like, I did this before COVID. It's like there's no more years. It's just before and after.
Yeah, that's very factual. Speaking of that, I met Sean. We were introduced by a very close friend, and who sadly passed away. So on Father's Day, I kind of want to give him a shout out. Hopefully he's watching this upstairs with my dad, sharing a beer and watching, proudly. So I met Sean. Sean started following the show. We've always said like, hey, it'd be great to do something. So we've been back and forth, and finally we're here on the Gambler.
Oh my God.
About to kick it off. So
we are.
Let's get the elephant out of the room.
I don't want to.
I know. I don't want to either. And I'm kind of scared because the elephants lately have been killing people.
Oh God, like the woman earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If you haven't, check our socials, The Divide Live on Instagram and Twitter. That's where we post a lot more content, not necessarily surrounded or that has to do with sports. For example, we posted earlier this week about the post of a woman. I believe it was even like Indonesia. She was poor woman was trampled by an elephant, and then the elephant came back to trample her corpse at her funeral and all that. It's so and forget about elephants. Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
All right.
We're New Yorkers. We're New York fans. I love the Yankees. Mike over here loves the Mets. So even though this is a Philly-based station, tough.
Listen, huge baseball fan. So first off, we're going to give you everything to the point where my pick for Father's Day, my parlay is a simple one.
Go ahead.
Bryce
What is-
Harper, who hit a home run on Mother's Day, has to now do it for Father's Day. Like, or you hate your dad, Bryce. Like, so you have no choice now. So I'm picking him, the Phillies money line, book it. By 2:00, I'll have 2:30, I'll have money in my account. So,
just like that, he's a homer already. The first episode, he's already switching sides,
we
Philly.
go, here we
You heard
go.
it right here.
no, I'm not rooting for the Phillies, but I'm going to make money off the Phillies. I like that.
Oh yeah. Well,
Dude.
I mean, if you're going to root for him to make the money. So that
I mean, yeah,
that's what
I'm
it is.
Putting a nice coin.
that's a
on it.
nice little parlay too.
Yeah.
Bryce
It's a
Harper
quickie.
home run and,
Just a
and
quickie.
the Phillies, you got to go money line. We're
Yeah,
gonna go to
money
that.
line. Yeah.
I mean, and the show after us, they'll definitely talk more bets, especially hopefully in-game bets. So
Right,
it'll be
right.
perfect. Yeah. So even though if you're listening to this in Philly, even though you can check out the iHeartRadio app and just kind of listen to it wherever.
Everywhere.
But yeah, it's annoying. We're New York fans, but we're not the most annoying fan base.
Not according to our research.
No, and we did some research because we were a little nervous about this, especially debuting in Philly. But listen, as soon as we kind of hit the books here and studied and figured out what the worst fan bases are, it turns out that Yardbarker.com listed the top 25, or excuse me, the 26 most annoying fan bases. And this is in sports across the board. This isn't just baseball. It's college football. It's college basketball. It's hockey. It's professional basketball. So let's just kind of go through it. Now, this is weird because if you don't follow college sports, you might be a little out of the loop here, but they rank number 1, Duke basketball. The most annoying fan base. And it's weird that you would have the most annoying fan base because I feel like college basketball is like, hey, is it March yet?
But
all right, it's college basketball.
Yeah,
time.
but Duke is like the Cowboys or even the Yankees, where they get the bandwagon fans, and to be frank, like they end up being the most annoying.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you got
that's why I'm happy for
smug.
Right.
They think they're the best. They troll on everybody. It's fun to watch, but it's pretty terrible. But again, being big baseball guys, I don't care about Duke basketball. I don't pay attention to that. Now, the second team on this list is not going to surprise anybody, and it's actually going to be celebrated by both you and our Philly homers here listening, and that's the Yankees. The Yankees were voted number 2 worst fan base, and I could see how it could be tough.
I mean, it's true though. 26 wings. Like you guys, like you have, it's not you. It's not you. I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying with success, you get annoying fans. It's the facts. You see it when the Phillies were on their tear. Like every so often you would get a crowd that was a little more out of the norm. When you go around the stadium now, it's the diehards in there. It's the guys that are rooting for it. But when you mix success in, you get those
I think people just don't like, the winning franchise. I think it's easy to hate on a winning franchise when you're not winning.
I've heard a lot of Yankee fans say, I don't watch till October. Then why do you watch baseball? Like,
fair.
Yeah.
Fair, but I don't consider those fans though.
I get that.
Those are people that
they're the ones.
They're like a New York fans.
Yeah,
like,
but
I'll watch baseball when football's not on. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but they're the ones that show up. They're the ones that are antagonists, and they're the ones that end up hurting your franchise. And I'm very thankful that there are 2 sports in New York City, 2 teams in New York City, and my team seems to be the better one.
It does. And in fact, if you go through this list entirely, and we'll post the link on our social, guys.
Where are the Stros?
The Stros are towards the bottom, but the Mets aren't on this list at all. Which that also doesn't surprise me. And actually, I don't think the Phillies are on this list for most annoying fan base.
So there you go.
So here's what you got. As far as baseball goes, the Yankees are listed number 2. And then it goes through, you got Notre Dame football here, the Chicago Bears. So it touches on a little bit of football, the New England Patriots, of course. And the big beef is similar to the one with the Yankees. It's the Patriots weren't anything before Tom Brady. They were a train wreck. And then all of a sudden, Brady comes, gives them a million rings. And now they're just an annoying fan base because you're seeing them everywhere. You got some hockey in there with the Penguins and the Maple Leafs. You go basketball with the Lakers, and you drop all the way down to number 10, and it's the St. Louis Cardinals. So, and that surprises me, but it doesn't, because the Cards have one of the biggest fan bases in baseball.
Yeah.
They're up there with the Yankees and even the Cubs. The Cubs have a really big fan base.
Right.
And they're on this list, but they're a little bit farther down too. But the main thing with St. Louis is they're just so arrogant. You would think they invented the game of baseball.
Yeah, that's factual.
Like you would
I've
think
been
they
there.
birthed it and they gave us this great gift. And down in St. Louis, they have that real passive aggressive like friendliness, but it almost seems like
they don't like
fake.
anybody.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Comes
just
off.
they have a bad attitude.
Yeah,
They're bad apples.
I guess we're not doing we're not getting syndicated in St. Louis. But
And you know what? Moving down this list, you got the Red Sox at 14. And out of 26, then we're talking most hated fan bases or the worst fan bases.
they're just.
I thought they'd be a lot higher.
I feel like with Boston, like in the first inning, those fans are nice, and then towards the ninth, you're just like, oh wow, like
Well,
it's a drinking town, it's a drinking city. Like they're just drunks. Like, and I enjoy that. It's great, and I can't wait to do it again. One of our producers, Ty, creator of pretty much everything you see, he loved Boston. He loved it. We did a live there from the baseball tavern in eye shot of Fenway, and he loved every second of it. But I noticed a lot of like, all right, that guy's a little drunk and he's a little bit of a jerk, like, so
it's funny.
and
So
I'd love
listen,
to say something else, but I don't know. I don't want the FCC after
this
me.
is
But-
I disagree completely.
Really?
Here's what I like about going to a game in Boston
Yeah.
is because the stadium is right in the city, not the heart of downtown
that's
everything,
true.
but it's easily accessible.
Mhm.
Yes, there's drunks walking around, but like to talk bad about New York, it's like snooty. Oh, you go inside to get drunk. Excuse me. You come inside a club or a bar. We don't want you on it.
Yeah.
Boston, I admire the fact that they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm drunk. I'm going to a game. I don't care.
It's wicked cool.
It's so cool. It's awesome. We're gonna go get some beans, get some Dunkin' Donuts, and we're gonna go to a game. That's awesome. That's my accent. I did not lend myself to
terrible,
accents
man.
at all.
Yeah.
It
Well, this is
sounds
our
awful.
last show on
Yeah.
the Gambler.
Definitely never
Oh
gonna go
my
to Boston.
God.
Anyway, so I listen for Boston being ranked at 14 out of 26 worst fan bases surprises me so much. I thought for sure they'd be ranked a little bit higher. The Cubbies, Chicago Cubs are ranked 18.
Don't try that accent, dude.
No, I would never. I thought Chicago is a place
Thank
I
God.
really want to travel to in the near future. And then you go all the way down, and I know before Philly fans, before you fall asleep here, Dallas Cowboys are ranked 21 out of 26. That is too low. I think even if you keep the college sports on this list, you gotta raise every year. You don't even have to wait till September, bro.
Right.
You hear it in July.
Did
What
Troy
do
Aikman
you
write
hear?
this?
Exactly.
I don't know.
What do you hear? Oh, this is gonna be our year.
Right.
We them boys.
Yeah, we
It's
them
gonna be
boys.
our year.
Uh,
No, man.
so
every
annoying.
year.
So
And it's
annoying.
what's great about that is usually by the end of September, you know that they're not gonna be them boys. It's not gonna happen at
It's
all.
not even close.
But we will say, Philly fans, be proud because Dallas is a worse fan base than you. Dallas is ranked 21. Philadelphia Eagle fans, you are ranked 22 out of 26 worst fan bases. And there's what else? I mean, what does it say about the article? It says here, let's see, it's almost passe to say the Eagle fans are terrible. I'm quoting here.
Right. Let's be careful.
Let me just, if anybody just tuned in.
Right.
Let's see. It says not all of them, to be fair. There's
Right.
plenty of pure-hearted diehard that bleed
exactly
green.
what I said.
Exactly. But there's also plenty of people who act badly because they want to live down to the city's reputation, boorish behavior. So this article is saying that Philly fans aren't bad, but it's almost like they want to live up to it's like if you're an away fan coming into Philly Stadium, they're like, we don't want them to think we're actually this nice. We want to live up to the hype and the reputation that we have.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I'm gonna stick with my comment earlier. I feel that Philadelphia has a very passionate fan base, but again, once success rolls in, and hopefully it will, for the sake of enjoying.
Are you saying passionate can't be annoying?
It can be 26 wings, 26 wings. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
all right, forget it. That was actually the best response for
like,
all of
what
us.
are we talking about? Let's moving on the Gambler.
All right, let's get the baseball here on the Gambler. That's why you guys are listening.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a few things here. More importantly, this week you had a former Philadelphia Eagle, Golden Tate, actually made his baseball debut on Thursday this week.
Yeah.
And he actually debuted pretty well. He went 2 for 4. Let me pull it up here. Golden Tate went 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. Now, if you remember Golden Tate's career, he spent some time with the Seahawks, went to the Detroit Lions, went over to Philadelphia for a year, and then spent the last few years of his career with the New York Giants. So he's been in this tri-state area the last of his career. But his first passion, as he describes it, was baseball. He was actually drafted in Major League Baseball twice, right out of high school, and then a little bit later in college. I believe I got to pull it up. I had it pulled up here. I want to say it was was it St. Louis? No, Arizona that drafted him.
Right.
It was Arizona that drafted him right out of high school.
That's awesome. I mean, I like this move. I would love for this to happen. I also would like the move of Major League Baseball players perhaps going back into the minors as their career goes down. Todd Frazier, when he was gearing up for the Olympics last year, he won the silver with this team. He was looking for a minor league team to allow him to get reps with them. And he reached out to the Blue Claws and they didn't return his call. So he went all the way to the minors, no pun intended there, in North Jersey. And he was kind of devastated. Now him and the Blue Claws actually have a better relationship. And he just threw out the first pitch with the Children's Specialized Hospital of New Jersey on Wednesday of this week, and that's pretty cool. And what the reason why I mentioned that is Todd is a fan of a friend of the show, and we are going to be doing the play-by-play at his beer pong event,
charity event.
Yeah, to raise money for the Tom's River Field of Dreams, and that's a field, pretty much a complex that children with special needs can perform any sport imaginable, from mini golf to baseball. And it's just inclusion. And I love it. We're here for it. We've helped them raise money in the past, and we're going to do it again. And this time, we'll be the voice of it.
And the more details we get, and the more details we're going to post, and we're going to say it right here on Fox Sports The Gambler for you guys to check it out and be a part of, just like us. Let's get back Golden Tate here. So we said 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. There's actually video out there of his at-bat. It's a nice little line drive right past the infield, and he actually went 2 for that one. He scored a double. Now, I will say they didn't score it as an error, but
it's probably an error.
He reached
Is
second.
it a Little League double?
It wasn't a rule book error, but yeah, it was a Little League double. The second base was not in position to make that catch.
I love it.
But either way, I mean, good for Golden Tate. Now,
were they home? They were home.
Yeah, they were home.
That's hometown scoring, baby.
Huge crowd. Keep in mind, he's playing in what's called the West Coast League, and that's a summer wooden bat league for college eligible student athletes.
It's awesome.
So we're not talking minors here, but we're talking a guy that loved baseball. He's going back. He's playing, and I mean, hey, who knows if he just kind of gets his legs underneath him.
Look at the whole Tebow effect, right, with the Mets and everything that happened there. That was a show in itself. They were sold out every single time that man played, and whether it was home or away. I tried to see him at the Lakewood Blue Claws, and Trenton, and both were sold out. And I was just like,
you don't think that's bad for baseball?
It's some of the,
because you're talking here now, like name. Now, granted, Jordan had the same effect, so don't get me wrong. Right. I know it's a simple, but you're talking name trumps athletic ability. So it's not like when you're seeing these guys rehab in the minors because you're looking to catch them in a cheap ticket and better seats.
The Mets got pretty bad. Tebow almost got called up at one point.
That's true.
That's true. So it got scary. I was like, oh my God, no pun intended. Oh my God.
But he hung on. I mean, he got to the point to where they were kind of finding excuses to keep him down for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad we found him. But
he hung on because of his name.
Yeah, but with that said, too, it created awareness towards them. Like, you had Reese Hoskins in the minors getting paid nothing. The guy who put the roof on this building actually housed Reese in his minor league stint, to give you an idea how little these guys are paid, that they have to find families that are willing to take them in. So hopefully they're going to fix all that, because Tim Tebow was making millions, and he was making millions for that team, for the Mets minor league farm. And but most players in the minors aren't making money. And
No, of course not.
Baseball's trying to fix that.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, again, and it just goes back to the whole argument of how you're going to make money in comparison to what you're bringing in. If I'm paying $7 to get in for a ticket, chances are you're not going to make a lot of money.
But Scranton does it right. Trenton does it right. And the guys down at the shore do it right. And those players deserve to get paid.
Damn right.
Damn right. There's a lot of people watching that.
Well, because you got guys like Ryan Howard played the Blue Claws for years.
Yeah,
ended up, he's got a retired number there and everything. And it's just,
that was
someone
nuts,
like him.
man.
Could you imagine it? Like at one point, if you were housing Ryan Howard?
Yeah. Well, and he was housing that stadium. I mean, I don't know why
dude, there's balls he hit out of that thing that hasn't landed yet.
I know why the Phillies couldn't call him up because they had Tommy in playing first for them.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
So it kind of
it's a good problem to have. I mean,
they were trying to sell tickets to a new stadium. I get it. But that definitely hurt Ryan's career. I mean, he was in the minors for too long, in my opinion. And, if you disagree and you're a Philly fan, go to the Divide Live, Instagram, Twitter, the dividelive.com and tell me I'm wrong. But in my opinion, Ryan Howard should have been in the majors much, much sooner. And it would have been a lot more fun.
No disagreement there. Well, actually, no, I do disagree a little bit, but I don't think any Philly fans are going to disagree with you there. But all right, we're going to throw it. We're going to take a little bit of a break. Coming up next, we'll talk about the awful all-star voting process this year. And it's not good in any year, but it just seems brutal. 10 times worse this year. We're going to talk about what a night out with David Wells is going to do to you. And we're also going to talk about how MLB ball clubs have adjusted to this expanded playoff process, but have the fans. Are you guys adjusting to this, or are you throwing in the towel on your favorite club? Coming up next on The Divide, you're listening to Fox Sports The Gambler.
I found the remedy to take our podcast to the next level.
Go on. This is The Divide Live. I'm Corey. This is Mike.
I'm Mike.
Then at noon, we are announcing a new show called The Divide.
No, I'm not in the business for giggles. Right. I'm in the business for laughs. Bro.
Home runs.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at The Divide. Nice looking show. They got a website too.
Yeah, they're doing it up, man.
Rollerblading is starting to get big again.
Really?
Yeah. Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny and so stupid. I hope our disagreement.
One is a Mets fan. The other is a Yankees fan. Together, they make the perfect show. It's The Divide with Mike and Corey right here on The Gambler.
Our voiceover guy.
No, we have to do something about it.
Right.
Dude, I don't even like the way he said Yankee fan.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I
love how he said it.
That might be like very Yankee fan of me to say. Hit it again.
One is a Mets fan. The other is a Yankees fan.
Bro, listen. You can tell he had a sour face when he was saying that.
Right.
It's like his whole there was jaw clenching when he said Yankee fan.
He hates you.
We got to cut that drop. I can't wait. We'll just have that drop available.
We got to get him on the show.
No, I don't want
voiceover guy. No, he's going to replace you, man.
I mean, look, great voice.
Amazing.
Don't get me wrong.
Goosebumps when we started playing
but
all of them.
Jesus, man. Take it easy. It's our first day.
One is a Mets fan. The other is a Yankees fan.
It's like he paused, bro. He paused. He was like he couldn't sigh, so he's like, I might as well just say it like this.
It was probably like after 30 different takes, and he was like,
after
finally
he checked the script,
different commercials, different voiceover things.
Says, he's reading it to himself in his trailer because let's just imagine he's got like a trailer, like a big movie. All right, one's a Mets fan, one's is this right?
Yeah.
Can I get a writer check this? Yankees fan?
All right.
Is this right?
Is this what we're doing now? Throwing papers and stuff. I love it. I love it. I was so for it.
Well, here's what I don't love.
Okay.
Well, I do and I don't. Okay. Let's go into all-star voting. All-star voting for Major League Baseball is upon us. The votes opened. You can go to MLB.com and look at the ballots. You can write in ballots for your favorite player. So, obviously, if someone's on a downward slump, let's say you're Joey Gallo's of the world, you just go ahead and you can write them in if you see them fit. Now,
right.
What I hate a lot of things. There's different phases now. So you have phase 1 for your voting, which is June 8th to June 30th. And that's what kind of helps get the initial votes, help your favorite people advance. And then you have a final voting period from July 5th to July 8th. This is dumb.
Well, it trims the herd. So they're going to get rid of.
It's like your primaries,
right.
Compared to your whatever they call them in the political
It is.
row,
It's
your
almost
shit.
like
You
an
know what I mean?
election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's how they have to do it. But here's the part I hate. You can vote up to 5 times a day
on one email.
Yeah. Mike, every 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you can still have that same email. And guess what? 24 hours went by. I'm going to vote my guy again. 5 times.
I'm telling you, people are going to do that, and fan bases are going to do that. And you always see it in MLB AllStar where, especially if the hometown crowd, like they're just into it. So you're going to see a lot of Dodgers, maybe a few that shouldn't be there, maybe a few that are underperforming. But people stuff the ballot, and the MLB loves it because they're getting these emails. So they're getting.
Oh, dude, it's a marketing.
It's a
genius plan, right?
And shout outs to them for making money. But
I'm not shouting out Major League Baseball for making money. They make enough money.
Pay us.
Yes.
But the thing that I would say is I just hate that fans vote. I mean, it should be the players, make it fun. The NBA has at least dabbled and tried to make it better, and baseball's just doing the same old, and it's just like.
But that's not going to sell tickets.
It's not. I mean, look, I'm looking forward to the Derby, but the actual All-Star game, it is what it is. It's an exhibition, and you get to see maybe guys you don't normally get to see in a clubhouse having fun. But I'm gonna watch it because I watch baseball. But the fan thing is kind of lame to me and corny, personally.
The fans voting.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
See, like me, I understand why the fans vote because you're not going to have players pick because if they end up choosing someone that fans don't care about, then they're not going to watch. And I think they have a hard enough time having fans watch the actual game. I think if they just cut the game, went with best record as far as home field advantage, all that other stuff, you cut the game, right? And just have your home run derbies, your celebrity softball event, all that other stuff. Like, I think that would be what people would watch.
Yeah, but the networks want that 2-hour show.
Of course. I mean, to pay the bills, to get the advertisers. But I there's no other way to vote. I think it's stupid to break up the different phases. I also think it's stupid. Look, man, if you're going to have a voting process, I want you you vote once. Not 5 times a day. Like, what is it?
Yeah,
all that means is you're giving people that have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, you're rewarding. I don't even want to say what you're rewarding, but that takes a different animal to be like, I got to go vote for Bryce Harper 5 times a day, every day for the next month and a half. Like, it's just insane. Like, I want Pete Alonso to be an all-star. He deserves it. MVP is coming your way. It's going to happen. So but I'll vote for him once, like a normal human being. I'm not going to vote for him. Like, I'm not going to vote for.
It's like reminds me very American Idol-esque when it's like call in and vote, and people would hang up the phone and call like a million times.
But now if you go to some of these athletes that are trying to get into this game, they are giving incentives to the fans to do this voting. And Pete is one of them. And he's giving away signed cleats. You name it. He's just cleaning out his closet.
And you hate that?
I kind of do. I
love
hate it.
I
get
it,
that
bro.
You love it, but there's so many other resources he could be doing right now.
Sell yourself.
Yeah,
you tell me why I should vote for you.
He's a 2-time home run derby champ. And
I don't care.
He's not going again unless he's an all-star because he wasn't an all-star.
You can't make those. Pete, you can't make those demands. See, this is why I hate him.
Demand.
This is why I hate him. You can't make the demands. This is for the people. The people
do whatever
choose.
He wants. He's a polar bear.
No, can you imagine if the president or any president was like, I was president last year, I need to be president again this year. No, the people get to choose, Pete. You don't get to make that stupid demand. Polar bear Pete.
I'd rather the people choose who's in the home run derby. I love that. Like, sometimes there's always that one guy that's not there. Like, I want Vlad Jr. I want Chaz there. I want everybody there. I want anybody who's making noise right now. I want Bryce Harper there. I want them all. Fly them all in. Tell them they got to play. It's up. They're giving them away $1 million. Pete Alonso has made more money on the home run derby than he's ever made on a Major League Baseball field. So it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, but it's the facts right now. Up to this year, I think he's arbitration and he's actually getting paid well. But up to last year, yeah, he made more on the home run derby than he did anything else he's ever done in his life.
Remember when Bryce Harper was in the home run derby?
Yeah, that was before the money.
And his brother with his mustache was pitching to him.
Yeah.
And it was the most obnoxious thing I think I've watched in my, not for Bryce, but for his brother with that stupid mustache.
Anytime we're at a Major League Baseball game, it doesn't matter who's playing. People are like, are you related to Bryce Harper? And Corey's like, I do.
Dude, I get it
like,
all the time.
It's great.
And I'm not just saying this.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually when I put the hat on. I put the backwards hat on.
Right.
Because if everybody saw my hairline, you would know that I'm not related to Bryce Harper. But it's just,
don't have money.
The beard, man. I got it. I went. I did a race, like a running, like a benefit, whatever, like a whatever mile race, and it's like walking to the start line, getting my headphones. Hey, anybody ever tell you look like Bryce Harper? Like in a random parking lot, like walking into to get food or something. Like, dude, it happens more times than not, and I guess I should be honored, but. No, I mean, look, if we can get Bryce on the show and we'll do a nice little side by side, we'll get him in studio and we'll just do it. That's what it is. We'll film a little skit here and then keep it moving. But
I get the same thing, but it's with Howie Mandel.
I can see that. So here's the thing. I think baseball, change your all-star ballot, right? Keep the format the same and keep the verbiage the same, where it says you can vote up to 5 times a day. But don't tell the people what that means. So you can say, yeah, you can vote up to 5 times a day, but each time you vote, your vote counts by a fifth. Once. Yeah, you count it less by a fifth. It goes down to 20%. That's what it is.
I don't know. It's just like, look, they want your email addresses. They want all your email addresses. So like, use every one you got. Like, so they want your burner account. They want your burners account, and just I guess give it to them.
I'm waiting for I really am waiting for all professional sports to just do away with the all-star game and just keep the fun, like your home run derbies, your skills competitions, like even for basketball, because even you go back to like Pro Bowl for football, no one cares about the game.
Yeah, they made it better this year
slightly, but like the competitions they started doing beforehand, they're more interesting to me.
They are.
You know, you watch these live sports across the board because you want to see them do unbelievable things.
Well, that's why the MLB is dabbling in the home run derby X with your boy. What's his name?
Nick Swisher. I really wish you'd stop saying my boy.
He is your boy. I'm telling you, like I don't even remember Swish hitting that many home runs. I don't know how he's going to do a derby. Prove me wrong, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, I mean he was good and he could work both sides of the plate too. Don't everybody forgets that about Nick. Yeah. Not that he was. I mean, he was solid. Played for 3 different clubs. I mean,
home run derby X is coming our ways. Look it up. It's going to be exciting. I kind of like that. It reminds me of like back in the day they had that TV show, like
American Gladiator.
No, it was there's a lot of type of like they're on a podium and there's like explosives and signs they get to hit. It's gonna be nuts, dude. But that's for another day.
But that's what I'm saying. See, like here's the thing: we're talking all-star ballot, and we keep talking about home run derby. That just goes to show that we don't care about the game. We just want to see the long ball, man. Yeah, and those juice baseballs that they use, where they just
also there's been a lot of players that just don't go to the derby. They get in, to the all-star game. They're like, yeah, thanks, but I'm gonna sit this one out. You know, so DeGrom did that, of course, and then he got injured. So that kind of made more sense. And so Walker took his spot. But there was a lot of guys that were just like, hey, yeah, I'm not going to go to I'd rather.
Superstition comes into play, man. They're just like, you hear these stories about it. They go to the All-Star game or they hit in the home run derby and then their swing's not the same or they don't play as well.
Let's be real. They work 162 days a year, right?
I work more than that.
Well, more. They play, I should say. There's no other sport that plays that much.
Well, if you find a job you like.
Include postseason. So this little like 4 days they get off, they could spend on an island somewhere, or they could be
or just with their
mic'd
families.
up talking to us.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah. So look, like All-Star is coming. Maybe we'll go. That'd be sick. It's in LA.
Dude, I'd be happy going to the All-Star game. Sure.
We'll have to ask Boss Man.
Yeah, we will. How about the Did we get a company credit card? We should get a company credit card.
But dude,
that's what we'll do. I don't know who to talk to. Not the voiceover guy, dude. We have to ask him. Forget it. He's not giving us anything, bro. He's cutting our time for next week. That's what he's doing. Oh man. All right, moving on. We're of course All-Star ballot. It's open. If you want to, feel free, log on, vote for your famous player, favorite well, he's famous, but favorite player.
Yeah.
Let's talk what happens if you spend a night out with David Wells.
And the bookie down Nestor, he likes pitching at home. He's got a 1.50 ERA here in the Bronx.
So you're hearing the same thing that I'm hearing.
Yes.
Wow. Well, we'll get through this.
This is how I sound after a night out with David Wells.
What a great comment.
So
David Cohn. Now, this was Wednesday at the Yankee game. The Yankees were playing the Rays. I think they won that game 4-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Courtesy of the Yes Network.
Courtesy of the Yes Network. So you had David Coney, longtime pitcher for the Yankees, doing the broadcast there. And of course, he did play with David Wells. And God, man, if that wasn't the funniest comment I've heard in a long time, especially by a broadcaster. A little edgy, too. I mean, look, Wellesley will tell you, how many times he was drunk in the clubhouse. But still, man, to air out dirty laundry like that.
I mean, he had a no-hitter with a hangover.
Yeah, a hangover. No, he was still, he was still drunk.
That's great.
No-hitter was still messed up.
Did he do that wearing the Babe Ruth hat that he has?
I can't remember.
Yeah, when he would put that on, people would be like, "What's up with his hat?" Which is so dopey looking. But yeah, look, that's the best David Cohn's ever heard, sounded to me. Like, honestly.
Oh, stop. I shared an elevator with David Cohn.
Oh, did you?
So listen,
good for you.
So this was back when Matt, my brother Matt, worked for this corporation, and they would just get these corporate seats.
Dude, I went to almost every Met playoff game.
Dude, and so it was that was a great year, right? So we would go to all these baseball games, and at Yankee Stadium, because we're better than everybody. At least when you get into this stadium, for some reason with the seats we had to take like an elevator down.
Okay.
On base. So, but I guess like when you go in, you kind of go like down to where like basically behind home plate.
Gotcha.
Now we get in the elevator, and for some reason, like we got in the wrong elevator. This one was going up, but we're like, oh, we'll just ride it up and then ride it down. And then they have employees that like work the elevator.
Yeah.
And then Coney just steps on.
Right.
So it's me, Bert, Matt, and then one of Matt's coworkers. And we're like, Coney? Like, because you never know if it's just a guy that looks like a guy. He's like, hey, what's up? We're to work. Oh, this is great. And we're like, oh, let's get a picture. And we go to ask the employee working the elevator. So all these stadium employees, they're not allowed to, if you see someone like that plays for the team or whatever, like behind the scenes, they can't be like, they'll be like, I can't take the picture for you.
Right.
It's like some sort of policy. You're like, you got to get a selfie or do it yourself.
Wow.
Well, instead of thinking on our feet and doing a selfie, we just gave Bert the camera. And we're like, yeah, you're taking a picture of us. So the poor guy wasn't even in the photo. Like, really, guys?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Man.
Yeah. So I had a similar experience with Doc Gooden, and you know what happened?
What?
He was on our podcast.
That's true.
So you dropped the ball.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, man.
I'm not sorry. Forget it, man.
You should
talk
be.
to Doc plenty of time. You were sharing popcorn with Doc one time.
I was in an elevator. So
I know
great.
that's that. We're just lucky in elevators, man.
I watched
an
him
Aerosmith.
We did the play-by-play at a celebrity boxing tournament.
Oh,
when he was the rep, that was embarrassing. With Screech, R.I.P. Samuel Powers, family member. He passed away. Diamond Dustin, right?
Dustin wasn't his name. Dustin something.
Dustin
Diamond. Yeah.
So he was the guy boxing, the Bagel Boss or something, and Doc Gooden was the ref, and we're there doing the play-by-play. So
we got access to that event because it was supposed to be
Lenny
Dykstra. Yeah, Lenny Dykstra was supposed to be the one that was fighting.
He bailed.
And he bailed.
Yeah. So
listen, this is a great opportunity to tell you, this isn't our first day on the job. We've been doing this a few years now. We have plenty of content. Check out the Divide Live on Instagram, on Twitter, dividelive.com, or even give us a shot.network for all of our older stuff, our podcasts, whatever you need. Just go there and check us out, and feel free to inbox us and say hello, or at least ask us anything you want. If you want us to cover something, and we'll save it for the end of the week, we can do that as well. But yeah, we got plenty of stories we could reminisce and share with you. But back to Coney. I think that's just, I love it when broadcasters can think on their feet like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they're just like, they're making a joke out of it. And it just shows that they're having fun. Like you imagine if we got paid to do broadcasting in the play-by-play for baseball, like a sport that we love to watch. Are you kidding me? We're not even watching baseball right now, and we're laughing and having a good time.
For me, like, I don't know. I think your broadcast isn't as good as it
Of course
used
you
to
do.
be.
Yeah, of course. Anything else bad you want to say about the Yankees
Yeah,
right now?
you got Beltran.
Hey, do me a
and
favor. Why don't you say
Cone.
something good about the Philly broadcaster since you're practically a Philly fan after
So-
placing money on
So
them?
here's my gripe with them. They don't get excited, and by them, the broadcasters, John Kruk and his partner, they don't get excited when the other team scores or anything. And
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
no,
I wouldn't even make the call.
The Mets get excited to the point where if you look up on YouTube Philly highlights, it's a lot of Gary Cohen from the New York Mets SNY celebrating the call. Like
Philly just destroys the Mets every time they play them.
But it's like I don't know, it's just monotone. And
That's the home. Like, listen, I don't want my broadcaster getting excited that the other team scored.
I do, because it lets you know that the action is going, and they're not 100% a homer. Like, you got to enjoy the game a little bit, and it kind of sucks when you have, an amazing situation, and you have an iconic figure in the booth.
Like Joe Buck?
Yeah, and imagine if he was monotone.
God. Yeah, I can't imagine if Joe Buck never showed any excitement. Oh, wait, yes, I can. That's every Joe Buck broadcast ever.
Well, he's no longer here, right?
No, he's not. I guess I can say
Not
that
on
now.
Fox
I mean,
Sports,
Jesus. Perfect timing.
Should we get his money?
Oh, God. Just a quarter of it, please.
Not just a quarter.
Yeah.
But
all right, let's dive into this. Now we're going to talk next segment. We're going MLB expanded playoffs because it changed this year. It's now 12 teams that get into the playoffs instead of 10. You have 3 wild cards plus your 3 division leaders.
Right.
Now, every time I read and talk about this, I go cross-eyed because it's like the math and the situations. It's like, when what's the meme that's got like Charlie Day in it from, what was it, from Horrible Bosses?
Yes.
Where he's like got the whole spider web, like crime stuff. Like, that's what this is when I look at this. But we were talking the other day.
Right.
And you were saying that, like, with this expanded playoffs, with just the extra 2 teams, and basically, guys, how it works is if you're unfamiliar, you take the 3 division winners, your 3 wild cards. Top 2 division winners with the best record get first round buys. The top 2 wild cards for that conference will play each other in a 3-game series, and then your third best division winner and your third best wild card, if I said that right, I think I did. They play each other.
Right.
So what it doesn't seem like that big of a change, but what you have is a lot of fans throwing in the towel for their favorite ball club, thinking that they're out of it, seeing
Based
that they're
off the old structure.
right, seeing that they're 7, 8 games back, when in reality they have a lot better of a chance of making, or at least getting into a wild card spot than they once thought.
Right.
Am I correct in that?
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a 20-car pile up at the end of the year where you got all these tiebreaker scenarios. So I'm for it. It's more baseball, so I'm not going to complain. But yeah, it's kind of quirky, and it would suck to be that third division winner and then having to be thrown into the wild card pool. But baseball is always series. It's either 2 games, 3 games, sometimes 4. Maybe it gets crazy and there's 5 because there's a few double headers or whatever. But it's always series. And so I had a problem with the wild card being just 1 game. I hated that. I was like, it should be a 3-game series. 3-game series. Give me a 3-game series. That's all I wanted changed. But obviously owners and money and networks, like, you can't knock the hustle. So we got this set up instead. And luckily they agreed to this, because we probably wouldn't have baseball right now if they didn't. So, but yeah, for the fans, like, you're still in it. Like, I look at every team. I look at a ton of different scenarios. The Phillies, one of them. Like, you're a hot week away from being in the run for the division. Forget a wild card. Like, baseball is streaky, and it's going to happen. You're going to have 10-game losing streaks, 10-game winning streaks. It's streaky. You have a shot. No pun intended, but you have a shot to get back into this. It's only June, guys. You know what I mean?
Honestly, looking at the records right now, unless you're the Nationals, every other team is 10, 12 games back, if not less. So especially in the dog days of summer, where all of baseball and some teams have 2-3 days off in the whole month, you can really make a good run at this. Here's the one thing, and I understand why they can't change it, but the one thing I hate about this is, since you're talking top 2 division winners with the best record get the first round bye. What I hate is there's a little asterisk, whatever it is, that says, what if you get into a weird situation to where one of your wild cards actually has the second best record in that conference? Like you take your stronger divisions, like even your NL and your AL East, for example,
right,
to where you can have a wild card get in because they missed the division, but they technically could still have the second best record in the conference.
The advantage has to go to the division winner.
Right. It does.
Right. It does.
In that case, it does. So you can have a wild card technically so they would miss out on the first round bye.
Yeah.
So there's no way to make that right unless you take away division winners and just rank 1 through 6 in the conference.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different, but it's going to make the trade deadline very confusing because there's not going to be a lot of sellers, and it's going to make for some.
It's another genius ploy by Major League Baseball.
Different baseball.
Like you said, there's going to be a 20 car pileup. There's going to be a lot of meaningful baseball at the end of August and in the middle of September to where it's just going to generate millions and millions of dollars. And it's going to make everybody either happy or sad. It's a slight change. But when you think about just how genius it is, it's perfect.
Love it.
So before we cap off the end of the show, since it is Father's Day, as well as Juneteenth, and there's a lot to celebrate today, but we're going to go through some father-son baseball duos that are near and dear to our heart, or at least the most popular that come to mind. Now, when we go through a few things, like we were talking earlier of like, all right, it's Father's Day. Let's kind of go over some father-son duos. The most popular, believe it or not, but not believe it or not, is Bobby and Barry Bonds.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, and obviously they're the most iconic. They both did a lot in their careers, never played together. But that's why I was like, you kind of thought number 2, you have Ken Jr. and Ken Sr. Griffey, that is.
Yeah. Both hate the Yankees.
Both hate the Yankees, but they actually played together.
Dude, they did.
To me, that's got to have a little bit more value.
Yeah, it was cool.
To it.
Right.
And then, of course, you go down the list. You got the Boone family is, of course, up there as well. I mean, how could you not mention them? You got Ray Boone and Bob Boone. And then, of course, you got Bob Boone and Mr. Aaron Boone, manager of the New York Yankees. I mean, come on, it's great. And how do you not? It's Father's Day. You can't hate on that for Father's Day. I mean, come on.
Look, Aaron Boone gave us our second best-selling merchandise piece, and that was the Savages in the box.
Oh my God!
So I'm not mad. He kept us afloat for like 6 months, I'd say. Paid for some Met tickets with those merch.
Oh God!
But look, to compare them in the same breath. No offense, Aaron Boone, you had a great hit in the postseason for the Yankees, and you
destroyed your knee playing basketball. Good job, buddy.
I would never put you in the same conversation or breath as the Bonds duo and the Griffey duo.
Believe it or not, on this list there, and this is a Major League Baseball list, of course. Vlad's not even on it.
Oh my God!
You got Cecil and Prince Fielder, and this is top 10. You got Cecil and Prince. Now this is of all time, guys. Obviously this will change over time, but you do have the Vlad Jr. and Sr. And I'm sure as the years go on,
they love bad pitches. And I said pitches.
Yeah, but even when they connect with some of these bad pitches, just gone.
It's nuts. Yeah, I've never seen it. But we got to see it twice. So it's so exciting to watch that man do what he does in Toronto right now. And it was uber exciting to watch his dad do it when I was a child. So So shout out to all the dads out there. We love you. Shout out to Bill Boehm.
Yeah, Bill Boehm might be listening to his son, his favorite son, I might add, on Fox Sports The Gamble. I knew this is what he dreamed growing up when he said, please shut up and stop talking. And then it leads to this, Dad. So you're welcome. And now I can talk however I want and people get to hear me.
And also, ever since 10 years ago when I lost my dad, he's kind of filled that void. So I love you for that, Bill.
He's a good guy, that Bill Boehm. All right. So listen, before we wrap up, happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Check us out on our socials, The Divide Live on Instagram, at The Divide Live on Twitter, The Divide Live just on Facebook. That's where we post most of our podcasts as well. And of course, check us out at dividelive.com. Guys, we will see you next week.